Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. No, we don't need Biden thing here. Uh, anyway, people, here we go. Post market wrap up on this Thursday, November 30th, 2023. Where to start? Where to start this? I don't even know. You want to start off with the economy? You want to do the markets? How about how about one of you tell me where to start this whole thing? Let's start off with the economy. It does not freaking stop. It's the truth. Oil, yes, lava. We'll talk about oil in a moment. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, so with regard to the economy, all right. So what did we find out today? Are you ready to hear this one? Maybe yes, maybe no. Inflation is still rising. Even if you look at the Federal Reserve's favorite indicator, the PCE, personal consumption expenditures, yes, inflation is still going up, but the pace is like slightly lower than was projected. So you see what's going on now. You got the things, the creatures at CNBC, Fox Business, Bloomberg. They're doing little cartwheels all around the place. Oh, yes, it's going to be a soft landing. The economy is doing fantastic and people are doing lovely and beautiful, really. But you see, what you're not allowed to know also today, or from the economic point, pending home sales, pending home sales have now hit an all-time record historic low. We just made history today. But don't worry about that, because inflation is getting better, although it's not getting any better. But you see, that's the lie. They must tell you falsehoods. There's no such thing as the truth anymore. If you are a truther, and I know you are, if you follow this blog, you are an enemy of the state. You're not allowed to the truth is shunned upon. You know that, right? Lies and distractions and deceptions, absolutely. That's all well and good. So that's really, on the economic front. What else would you expect? Jobless claims coming in at a 2-year high. Oh, that's a booming economy. Pending home sales, a historic low. We made history here. That's a booming economy too. And then inflation obviously is still rising, and they're going to tell you that what you're seeing is not real. Now, real quick, since lava asked, and lava is special to me, with oil today, very interesting, wasn't it? So OPEC is apparently, here's the key word here, apparently going to be cutting production moving forward. Earlier, we had a little knee-jerk higher. But what happened here, why crude oil decided to flip around and finish lower today by like over 2%, was on speculation that it's not going to happen. OPEC here, again, one of the masters that we have to serve, along with central banks and everything else here, unfortunately. That's what's going on here. Look, people, I can't tell you this another way. Crude oil is definitely a long-term play. Okay. If you're trading this stuff, good luck in this environment. But in my view, commodities are going much, much higher eventually. It's so simple to understand. The environment is risk on. The Fed is determined to prop this market up. Did you see the Dow today? Over 500 points higher on the Dow. The S&P 500, a fractional gain. The NASDAQ actually fell under some pressure today. A lot of, let me tell you this. If in fact we had the dollar made a pretty significant, in fact, a very significant move higher today. That weighed on the market. The 10-year yield back over 4.3. I think it's 4.34 the last time I looked at it. If these things would have stayed low, this market, the Dow would have put on over 1,000 points. The S&P and the NASDAQ also would have ended putting up on gains. But again, as you all know, the driver of the market is the debt market. All right, everyone's focused on the Dow and the S&P and the freaking NASDAQ and the Russell 2000, whatever. I don't even care about that. I don't care about that at all. All right, what I focus on is the driver. So do you. The drivers of this market are the debt market. Period. But anyway, so there's some interesting things going on today. Crude oil, 10-year yield. I wouldn't say anything dramatic here, but we did make a move higher. The dollar actually finished up 0.76, I believe, and that's a pretty big move with regard to the dollar here. On the back of that, gold finished slightly lower, silver higher. let me get this through in my head here. Cryptocurrencies mixed pretty much across the board. All right, that's it. Look, this doesn't change anything here. Okay, what I've been explaining, what we have discussed here over and over and over again, is to take it is what things to look at and what to take advantage of. In my opinion, here, okay, I've covered this before it even happened, before the drop in crude initially happened a while back. Then we rebounded before the drop in gold. I said specifically the environment is risk on, so that cash is going to cause volatility. The risk on environment is going to cause volatility in commodities. All right. And this is because the cash has to come from somewhere. You understand? So right now it's being pushed into the stock market via the Federal Reserve, who's determined to prop this up so the fat cats can get their multi-million-dollar bonuses. You know how this works. You see, hardly anyone knows that fact that the year-end stock price is how the fat cat CEOs and all the upper management at these corporations get their year-end bonuses, year-end stock price. So what does the Fed do to make sure that all those super rich people get even super richer? Well, they prop up the market. And again, look, this phenomenon, in my view, okay, being that we are on the threshold here pretty much of a new year, is going to be more the same. More rate suppression on an unprecedented scale. And then that's going to do a couple of things here, people. Look, what do you and I know is happening? Liquidity around the world is drying up. Period. They need mechanisms to keep that liquidity or cash flowing into the now from the future. Expanding wars is one way they're going to do it. We're going to see a lot more war moving into next year. We're going to see a lot more purchases of debt and other assets by the Federal Reserve and central banks around the world who have one goal, and that is to own it all, to buy it all. I think we're pretty much on the same page with that. Wouldn't you agree? But anyway, look, it just so like I said, it doesn't change anything. You and I, me. All right, let me tell you again, people, what I am doing. I am looking for every single opportunity that comes around here to get longer this market. I am long this market. I am massively long this market. I have been net long this market for an incredible amount of time, gaining exposure to commodities. As a matter of fact, today, if you do subscribe to my free newsletter, check your inbox. I sent out 5 ETFs, which will give you exposure to commodities. Look, I'm not telling you to buy anything. I want you to do your own research here, as always. But I really believe that people need exposure here. We're setting ourselves up for the eventual, for taking advantage of what's going on now, of course, but also for what's coming down the pike. When you have a risk-on environment, other assets go on sale, including crude oil, like we're seeing here. But if crude oil plays in, and I think it's going to, we've been in a pretty vicious bottoming cycle for crude for a while, all right? These things can last a long time. Topping cycles and bottoming cycles, that's just the way they are, all right? In my opinion, this is opportunity for the longer run. Obviously, you know how I feel about gold and silver. I don't care what they do to the price of action in the short run. I don't even think about it. I did several interviews lately and people asking me about the price action of gold and silver. I don't care. It doesn't faze me at all. All right. These are real units of wealth. They have been so for thousands of years. If we understand that central banks are going to inflate beyond your wildest dreams and then some, colluding with our so-called representatives, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? You tell me. And as I have said over and over and over and over again, as long as they keep risk at bay, as long as they keep buying debt, which you know they're going to continue to do that, central banks, none more so than the Fed, as long as today was interesting with the dollar, but I think the dollar is going lower on a relative strength basis. All currencies are. Central bank issued currencies got to be probably the worst in investment in the history of the world. In my opinion, central banks are deliberately killing their own currencies. So why in the world would you want to be in the dollar or in a euro? Or I wouldn't. I mean, if you're a currency trader, different story. Okay, you're weighing currencies against each other and you're trying to take advantage of that. But I'm talking about people who are hoarding cash, if people are even doing that these days. Although, what did we find out? Well, that was another thing. That was a piece of news just from today. that the people they can't save. The savings rate is near an historic low, soon to be at an historic low. We're going to make history again, but that proves our economy is strong because that's what they're telling you. You know that. Whenever you hear one of these freaking things, on the mainstream propaganda ministry telling you whatever's going on, it's a lie. I don't got to tell you that. These so-called authority figures make me freaking laugh. It's an incredible thing. It really is. Anyway, let me just I'm always like writing stuff down and about stuff I like to talk about. I already covered the production cuts, how there's speculation it won't happen, and I knew that was going to come up, and of course Lava brought that up, and she's amazing. All you guys and girls, you got to check out Lava's work. All right, go check out Lava News. Anyway, as usual, I think we covered all the bases here. We know what to do. We know why we're doing it, and that just gives us incredible strength, incredible power. You and me have been and will remain light years ahead of the curve because we know who our enemy is. We know what they want to do to us. I've told you this a billion times. And understanding that, I mean, the edge that they gives all of us is, it's insurmountable. This is why I keep telling you it can't be beaten. Flowing Brook, thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, people, bullish on Coke. Fantastic. Yes, indeed. What do you guys and girls want to talk about anything in specific? Look, with regard, Ian, I don't own any miners, not one. Okay. So I am really not the guy to talk to about miners. Here's my take on this. It's a great question. All right, let's talk about miners real quick. Jim, thank you. I am not saying that there are not bargains out here with regard to miners. Okay. But if I had the choice, and of course we all have the choice, between holding and owning the hard asset, which I think is so incredibly, massively undervalued right now. I'm talking about gold. I'm talking about silver. I'm talking about platinum and palladium. They're all massively undervalued. I want to hold it in my hands. I would rather put the money to work for that than to go out and buy a miner. Does that make sense to you? But again, I mean, there are people that want to own miners. I'm just not the right guy to ask when it comes to that. Copper, got it right here. I love copper. It's not my favorite metal of all time. My favorite metal of all time, you all know what that is. It's silver. But these other ones, you need to hold these things too. Paolo, thank you. No, I'm not amazing, man. You're all amazing. I'm just a guy sitting here talking. That's all I am. I'm not gonna lick silver. I've been cutting back on that. In case you haven't noticed, I haven't been licking silver lately. Anyway, look, the Treasury. I think the action of the currencies being sucked dry is directly from the central banks themselves, not necessarily the Treasury, which is bankrupt, which the Federal Reserve just had to bail out. Oh yeah, that didn't make the news too much, but that's actually what did happen here. Anyway, Goulstein, gold royalties. What about gold royalties? I really couldn't tell you too much about that. It's not my thing right now. I mean, paying royalties on gold eventually. Look, if you hold it in your hand and you're whatever you're doing with it, you guys and girls, I don't know. You could do what you want with that. Oh, royalty gold. I don't know anything about this stuff. I really don't. I don't know. With regard to acquiring the hard assets, you know my take on it. First of all, I don't go for the designer stuff. Gold is gold, silver is silver, the brand names or whatever, just look for purity. Even with that too, there's no such thing as junk gold, junk silver, in my opinion. Oh, anyway, that's kind of where I stand here. Altcoins, great question as well. There were a few out there that I might think about. I don't own any. I own some of the big cryptos here. Not most of them. My biggest holding in cryptocurrency right now is Bitcoin. I've said this why Bitcoin? People always ask me, hey Greg, why Bitcoin? Why Bitcoin? Look, it's the mommy of them all. most people are familiar with it. And with regard to Bitcoin, I can say this with a high degree of certainty. Although we are going to experience a lot of volatility in the entire crypto space, including Bitcoin, I think I think it's massively undervalued. That's just my take on it. Uh, you're all, of course, entitled to your own opinion on that. Anyway, people, I want to thank you for those thumbs up. We're doing okay with these as of late. I wish we could get more people involved here. We got about 1,300 ish right about now for this live stream. Seems like, it's funny, I do these live streams and I love to interact with you. I really do. But I wish we had more. I really do. I really, really do. All right, people. This guy, I'm gonna end this right now. I think we covered a lot of important stuff here. Cocker Spaniel. What about Cocker? Yes, yesterday I did say that. Explain it to me as if I were. Yeah, that was a kind of an interesting interaction, right? So GDP way higher than they expected, but the Federal Reserve admits the economy is slowing down. How does that work? I don't know, but maybe all of you, since you're all smarter than I am, could let me in on it. Yes, JEPI. I still like it. I still own it. I'm going to buy more. I'm looking for more opportunity to buy more JEPI. I like the way the fund is structured. I like the monthly dividend. If it drops, I want to buy it cheaper. I don't know another way to put it. All of you know that. Small caps. This is a good question here. I'll tell you why I would probably stay away from small caps right now. I'm a large cap guy. Most of you know that Greg Mannarino is a large cap guy, multinational large cap guy. The small caps here, being that the economy here is cratering, is maybe a reason why you want to. I'm not saying you shouldn't own some of these, but I would definitely not be overweight these things. I would be definitely looking to, if you had some cash to put to work, I wouldn't be putting it into small caps here. I would, again, be looking for large cap multinationals that, of course, pay a dividend or something along those lines. I think most of you would, well, I don't know if most of you would agree with me, but some of you. I don't even know what that even means, PAB. No idea. Anyway, big block Chevys, yes. Hell of an engine. Anyway, people, I am going to end this. Again, love you a lot from the heart. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for your love and your support. I will see you all in the morning. I think we're going to have a good time as we always do. And have a great day. I'm out of here.